welcome to another Micro Minute with me, Marty Jobson. Just get my technology sorted out. Today, I've got something a bit different than we've done previously because I've got out this microscope here, this bad boy here. It's a fantastic, beautiful microscope provided for me, of course, from the lovely people at Zeiss. This is called a compound microscope. I'm not going to go into too much details, but all you need to know is that light comes from the bottom, goes through the sample, whatever we want to look at, which we place here on this thing, which is called the stage. There's a bunch of optics here that allow me to see it through these eyepieces here or up to the camera here. So today I thought what I'd show you with this microscope was something that maybe you are familiar with, but you haven't seen it ever before up close, and that is blood. So to show you blood, what I do first, though, is to find a specimen of blood, because I like to do everything sort of live and prepare stuff for you right in front of you. So if I switch on my camera here, I've got a little camera here, a little camera that you can see there. And what we're going to do is we're going to prepare a specimen onto one of these glass slides here, because that's what you need if you're going to put it. If I come back up, if I'm going to see something underneath this microscope, I need to pop it under there on a glass slide. So how am I going to take a blood sample for you? I'm going to use one of these devices. Oh, wrong way around. Where is it? There you go. Accu-Chek Fast Click. Anybody who has diabetes or knows someone with diabetes will be familiar with these, because people who are diabetic use these for doing their tests. And it's got a little sort of spring-loaded doodad at the top there, and at this end here, actually, how am I going to get it? Oh, there, you can just see it. It's better if I show it that way. Yeah, you can see there's a hole at the end there. Okay, and when you press the little spring-loaded doodad, a needle shoots out of the hole and into whatever you press against that. So without further ado, let's do this. Let's draw a little bit of blood live for you. So I place that on my fingertip like that. I go like that, and there you go. A little bit. I apologize for my manky hands. I've been washing them a lot recently, as I'm sure you all have. Oops. Camera's falling over. Technology. This is what happens when you do everything on your own. Right, where are we? Oh, there it is. Right, so I've got a little drop of blood. I need a bit more than that. That's not enough. You need quite a decent amount of blood to do this, really. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glass slide and I'm going to put the drop of blood on the end of the glass slide like that. Right, and then I'm going to try and stop myself from bleeding anymore. And then what I need to do is smear out that blood, because obviously if you just look at that under the microscope, there's too much blood there. It'll be a big blob. You won't see anything. So what we do now is smear it out using this technique here, which uses a second glass slide. And even though I did work once upon a time in a haematology department at a hospital, hello, all the Australians, I never had to do this. Apologies to any lab technicians who know what they're doing. This will be done horribly. So you take another slide like this, and then you use capillary action to just smear it out. I drop that into my bin there, and that's it. There you go. It's smeared out the blood, and that's how you do a blood smear. And then I have to wait for it to dry, like that. Unfortunately, it's reasonably warm in here. I'm just giving it a bit of and then we'll pop it under the microscope and see what we've got. And hopefully what will happen is I'll have smeared out the blood into such a thin layer that we've got one blood cell thick, because obviously that's what blood is made up of. It's made up of fluid, plasma, and then a load of cells inside it. So I'm going to have a look and see if I can see what I need to see by doing this. And then I peer down there, and jolly good, we have blood. Now, I need to now find a bit where the blood is suitably thinly smeared out so that you can see individual cells. Hey, actually, they're pretty good, this bit. And I'm not showing you what I'm doing immediately. I'll come back onto the big camera like that. I'm not going to show you immediately, because if I sort of show you as I'm sort of zooming around, it tends to make people rather seasick. So let me just get what I'm looking for. I had something there and then I lost it. Where is it? This is the difficult bit of doing microscopy live. There's something I wanted to show you. That's it there. Okay, I'll get that slap bang in the center. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, this is not bad. This is not bad. I can live with this. Okay, so here we go. This is what blood looks like underneath the microscope. Oh, too bright. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. There you go. That's my blood. Oh, I've lost the image. Hold on a second. I'll turn down the frame rate. That should help a little bit. There you go. That's better. There you go. So that's what blood looks like under the microscope. The thing when I do this on stage for stage shows. People always sort of they're slightly confused because it doesn't look red. The thing is, when you look at blood under a microscope, you're looking at individual blood cells, the red blood cells, and they are kind of slightly pink, but not very pink. And it's only when you have lots and lots and lots of millions of them together that it actually appears red. So I'm going to zoom in now so that we can see in a bit more detail. Change the optics there. And there we go. I'll turn up the brightness just a squeak. And then, where's the thing I was hoping to show you? I'm going to hold on a second. I thought I had, yeah, there it is. It's just off screen. Bring it back on. There we go. Right, so now you can see the blood cells up close. So they don't appear red under the microscope like this, although I'll come back to that at a later date and show you how you do make blood cells appear red, so to speak. But you can immediately see a few things about them. First of all, how big are they? Well, there is a bar at the bottom down there that tells you the scale, and that bar is 0.05, so 5/100ths of a millimeter. And basically what this is telling me is that each blood cell is 8/millionths of a meter across, so 8 micrometers across. So a millimeter is 1,000th of a meter, and a micrometer is 1,000th of a millimeter, and a blood cell is 8 micrometers across. They're pretty uniform, and they've got a very peculiar shape. What we're seeing is sort of top-down blood cells because they're all flattened out. They're all just dry. They're starting to dry out now, and they'll shrivel up. Some of them have gone weird shapes as they've dried out, but basically they're circular. And if I adjust very carefully some of the and focus, you should be able to see that there's sort of an outside rim, and then you've got an inside, almost like a ring, so almost like a donut, and that's in fact that's actually the shape of a blood cell. They're not spherical. They are donut shaped with a flat bit in the hole where the donut hole would normally be. A ring donut, obviously not a cream filled donut. And that's because when blood cells are made in the long bones of your legs, they have a cell nucleus, which is the important control center of the cell. I'll show you some cell nuclei at a later date when we do something that's got cell nuclei, because the blood cells don't have them. They get rid of them. As the cells come out of your bones, the cell nucleus is pooped out, and the spherical cell collapses down, and you end up with a sort of a donut shape. So it's thicker at the sides and thinner in the middle. And the reason that happens is so that the cell is quite flexible. It bends, it can be bent in half and sort of twisted, and it can get all the way down the fine capillaries that take blood to the extremities of your body. So to my fingertips, and we clearly know that my fingertip yields blood. It has stopped bleeding. You'll be glad to know. I'm very glad to know that. There is one other thing I can show you there, and you can just about see it. Can you see just here, if I sort of use my little magic pointery device, just there is a sort of a faint shadow of a cell. That's a white blood cell. I'm very pleased to know, given the current circumstances, that I have plenty of white blood cells. They're very difficult to see without some special optics. I'm trying to make it as visible as possible, but basically it's essentially invisible. And I can't tell you any more about it other than that is a white blood cell, because there are lots of different types of white blood cells. Right, that's all I'm going to say. I've already gone on for about 9 minutes. I'm going to show you a stained version, or how to stain blood samples at a later date so that you can see more details, so we can see all those white blood cells. So I'll link to that when it gets created in the show notes below. Thank you very much for watching. The website for Microminute is now up and running. There's a YouTube playlist, so if you've missed any of the previous Microminutes, then go over there and you can peruse them all at your leisure. I'll be back again on Wednesday. Let me know if there's anything you want to see underneath the microscope, and I will attempt to provide it for you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.